Busy daddies do sci-fi.
That was the play button.
You seem a little jittery tonight,
I'm a little
George.
jittery, man.
What's up, man?
I just had
I thought this was your home field advantage.
Had a full pint of ice cream before running out onto that home field. You say home field advantage. What does that mean? Because we're at my home, or because we happen to be talking about something?
It's a little bit of a spoiler, but yeah, something that might be you might be considered. I don't know, how do they rank you people?
Oh, there's all sorts of classifications. It depends on what series you're talking about. Like, first of all, there's the umbrella term of Trekkie. Then
this is a Star Wars episode, George. I'm not talking about your Star Trek.
I thought we were talking
stuff.
about Harry Potter in this one.
No.
Oh,
no.
Shit.
No. Hey, restart it.
All right. Hold on. Let me try and hit the play button again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. 1, 2,
So you know
3.
we've never. Okay.
Go.
What? Hey. Oh.
So
hey,
anyway,
wait.
Everywhere from Tribble to Harvey Mudd. That's a 1 through 10 classification of your dedication to the fandom.
Tribble meaning everyone knows what a Tribble is.
Everyone knows what a Tribble is.
So that's a 1.
But few people know who Harcourt Fenton Mudd is.
Harcourt?
Harcourt Fenton Mudd.
Isn't he the writer?
He's got to do it. No. Wait, is he a writer?
I don't know. I thought he was just a writer. Is he a character?
Is that an actual writer's name?
I thought it was a writer of Star Trek.
Might be. No.
What's Harvey Mudd?
He's a character in Star Trek, in the original series. And soon to be in the new series Star Trek Discovery, played by Rainn Wilson from The Office.
So if one knows what a Tribble is and they've seen all the Star Treks, wouldn't they know what a Harvey Mudd is? Or could you have to have better footage or maybe like an underground tape?
They might know who he is. Okay, well, let's put it this way. Maybe it's on a scale of Tribble to Methuselah.
Yeah?
Yeah. See, I just blew your mind.
No.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
All right. You're
Speaking
in my
of Methuselah.
You're in my park right now, pal.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
you better, if you don't know how to speak at least one Klingon song.
Are we gonna do Klingon folk songs tonight?
I know a few.
Can you sing one?
I know a few tunes in Klingon.
How do they? How's Klingon sound?
It sounds very guttural. It's very like
that's why I was getting into
like
the
kapla. That means success.
kapla.
It's a greeting.
Because when you hear that, you've had a great bowel movement.
Yeah, kapla. So it means
mnemonic.
hello and goodbye.
Or an
Pretty much.
onomatopoeia.
You just say success.
What's a word that sounds like the action? A homophone? No. No.
What are we talking about now?
Buzz. What's that called? What kind of word is that?
A hominid? No, that's a caveman.
You tell me, man.
Yeah.
You're the Star Trek expert.
This is true. Cavemen were actually created by an ancient bipedal species who seeded our planet with DNA. So
it's
us,
ancient alien stuff.
the Klingons, the Romulans, the Cardassians, we have more in common than we'd like to think, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
Maybe we're not so different after all of us.
Great. Hey, just drop.
Feel really good about this, man. If you can't tell.
Oh yeah. So we've done it again.
We have
decided to talk about Star Trek. This reminds me of our Dr. Y episode.
We have opted not to take the harder route and finish a book. Or by we, I mean me.
What percentage of Annihilation are you on right now?
Okay, I think still 73.
Why didn't you fucking finish it?
I don't know, man. I
Finish
just put it down and then... All right, hey, this is not about me.
Put it down!
Okay?
What do you mean you put it down? You mean you pressed pause?
It's not about me here, all right? This is about the greater good, Star Trek here. So,
it's not. No.
So yeah, we got to
resort to Star Trek. People.
Yeah, we got to a point where Kevin just basically asked me, "Hey, what movies have you already seen?" And he said, "Let's do a Star Trek Wrath of Khan episode." So, well, not that we're doing that episode.
No. There would be a segue
There
that would introduce whatever we're going to talk about.
Because I'll tell you right now, Kevin.
Yeah.
We couldn't do a Star Trek Wrath of Khan episode because every single thing that needs to be said about that movie has already been said by someone somewhere.
Yeah.
Moving
it's
on.
Impossible. I mean, what are you supposed to say about Star Trek Wrath of Khan?
No.
Nope.
Moving. Come on.
Yeah, move on.
Moving on.
Don't even say Khan.
Who?
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Khan. Who are we, man?
Ricardo Montalban.
Oh, that's good.
Hey.
That's good.
Probably been done before. Nope.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Been done.
Yeah.
Been done.
Yeah.
Montalban. Question. Mm-hmm. Do you think his chest in that movie was real or fake?
I think he got ripped for that movie.
Is
it? Do we know about there?
For years,
what was those things on DVDs that people used to do on them?
The
talking notes.
Oh yeah, the commentary.
Yeah. Is that already in the commentary?
So for decades, people just assumed like he wore a prosthetic to make him look more muscular. He came out and said like, no, that was all me, man.
So nope, can't talk about that either. Nope,
shoot.
Oh man,
been done.
God,
it's almost like there's nothing to be said about this.
Something. It's like the internet.
All right. Let's remove ourselves from this endless void of things that we cannot talk about.
We're trying to bring you an extremely fresh content, all original content episode.
Well, we have to
about the Wrath of.
We have to be all original based on simply the milestone that this year represents.
Yeah, this is the Bone China anniversary.
As you may know,
Yeah.
This is the 36th anniversary of the Wrath of Khan.
Yes. And everyone to give a nice Bone China plate to your partner.
As you do. As you do on your 36th
Or maybe you're retiring. And the guys in the company and the gals in the company, they all pitch in and they buy you a nice Bone China lapel pin.
Ooh. Tasteful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe a little bowl to put your rice and
keys in. No.
And cigarette
butts. You don't work at the office anymore, so they don't need. It's not like you're getting a Bone China paperweight.
You don't need keys. Then,
yeah.
You know, it's pretty much going to be just you and your apartment for the rest of your life.
Sucking the end of a shotgun, trying to figure out what happened. A Bone China shotgun.
If you're lucky, right? Because as we all know, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Oh yeah,
or the one.
Nope. Can't talk about that either. You know what? In hindsight, though, in watching this movie that we can't speak about, your favorite trick on our podcast is the needs of the many, and you learned that watching this dumbass movie.
Okay.
Man.
In fairness.
Oh wait. I was like, I used to look up to you, man. I was like, wow, man, George really looked into that. He spent some time thinking about the concept of the needs of the many. Or what? Excused by the few.
So who you look up to is your own responsibility. That is not on me. The fact
can you
that
say that in Klingon.
The fact that you kapla. The fact, or no, it's not success. No kapla.
Nope.
The fact that you choose such faulty role models is entirely up to you. Could you, speaking of faulty role models, tell us who we are?
Oh, yeah. We're Baby Daddy Dodge's stable fatherhood, yo!
What's up, kid? You ain't never met me.
Hey, you're scared of death, Dad. But I honor you.
Son, we've been through life and death together. I'll be right back. I'm going to go bang your mom again.
Jesus, George.
Dr. Carol
Hey, you know what? That would
be
new content.
That's
in the bonus.
Nope.
That's the bonus scenes, man.
Nope.
They call that pulling a Shatner.
I'm pretty sure there's been a whole lot of talk about banging Dr. Carol Marcus among Star Trek fans.
Oh, really?
Especially since they rebooted her in the second new Star Trek movie.
Did they reboot her, bro?
They rebooted her.
Wow.
And she's played by Alice Eve in that movie. And there is one.
Oh, yeah. Now it's all coming.
Oh, it's all coming back to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's probably not new. Nope, that's not new either.
Nope.
God,
stepping back.
It's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be walking through a minefield. This is worse than being blind in a Cambodian rice field, trying to
fill your bone china bowl with rice.
With burnt sugar. Reduced sugar.
Which you would find.
Out of a bamboo pot.
Which you would find in the rice field.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of rice fields, which is clearly what this podcast is about.
Yeah. Busy daddies do rice field.
We jumped a little bit into the past, just about 35 years or so.
36.
36.
China.
My God, how quickly time flies. So we're talking about Star Trek 2, Khan, and the Wrath thereof, which is the full title of the movie that they decided to shorten to Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan, colloquially known as just Wrath of Khan, or amongst me and one other friend who I no longer speak to, simply Khan.
And why don't you speak to him?
We had a falling out over Star Trek 4.
Really?
Yeah.
This what level?
Yeah, you know who you are.
What classification? Is there a ranking system for Trekkies besides that Tribble and Harvey Mudd thing you tried to make up?
No, I mean here's the thing.
Like, do I show up at a convention? Do I wear a red shirt at Taha, or do I have to earn the right to wear a blue shirt?
No, you're golden.
I can wear any shirt
I want.
want.
You show up. You're slap on the back. You got the passion. Way to go. You're dressing. You show up with a red command shirt, and you've got like 5 pips on your collar.
What are pips?
Pips are rank insignia.
Yeah.
People are gonna look at you going like, who are you trying? What are you, a super captain? Because that doesn't make any sense, man. All right, 1 unfilled one, you're a chief petty officer. 1 filled one, you're an ensign. 2 filled one's lieutenant.
Nope.
2.
That's definitely not new content.
That. No, you're right. Nope.
Yeah.
No. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. We'll see you at Comic-Con, October 27th.
At. We'll see you at. Well,
are we gonna set up that Gorilla podcast booth?
Comic-Con. We should do a roving podcast at Comic-Con.
With the Gorilla one. We were going to take that table and set it up out in front and do an exit survey.
What are we going to survey them on?
Everything.
A
Gorilla podcast.
We're going to have an actual gorilla with us. Mm-hmm. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, no, just an ensign gorilla. He'll have 2 dim-doms.
An ensign gorilla.
What'd you say,
He'll have
pigeons?
1 pit. Yeah, a pigeon. A pigeon. He'll have, you take 2 pigeons, you stick them to your neck, and there you go, you're a lieutenant.
Yeah.
You get 4 of them, and hey, you're a captain now, and you can fly because you got 4 fucking pigeons strapped to your neck.
Yeah.
So.
And you get 1 up your ass in your Richard Gere.
Did you know?
What?
Nicholas, besides. Hold on. That's it. There's the fact of the podcast right there. All right, Kevin decided to twist the Richard Gere hamster rumor for his own means, and here we go into a Wrath of Khan podcast. We have a joke that, first of all, nobody under 35 years old is going to understand. and yet there it is.
Wiki him.
Wiki. Just tell you what, pop onto Google. If your
Lord
computer,
knows we can't.
If your computer is parental controlled, the password is Domino116, and Google Richard Gere hamster in the ass, and have a good night, kids. Did you know this movie is directed by Nicholas Meyer? You know what else Nicholas Meyer directed?
What?
Time After Time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Great movie, man.
Or maybe just it like imprinted me. It might not be. I think it's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I remember that's totally in the shouldn't have been watching it on HBO when I was a kid. Freak out.
That was one of those movies that was on HBO, I feel like, every other day.
And we know the man who built that time machine.
Like, personally? We do? Me and you?
Yeah. A guy who's a special effects guy who we hang out with in Joshua Tree once in a while.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Or I did and forgot it. Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So he probably knows Nicholas Meyer.
Nick?
Yeah. Nicky M.
Mai. Yeah.
He also directed Star Trek 4 and Star Trek 6.
And I thought Star Trek 1.
And Star Trek 2. No. He did not direct Star Trek 1. So let me tell you a little story. real quick.
Is this the glaze over part of the podcast?
For you, certainly. Okay? Star Trek.
No.
Star Trek, the original series. Okay, runs 1966 to 1969, gets canceled. Wasn't super popular. All right?
Clearly.
So, 10 years later,
79?
they're making a Star Trek movie. Boom. Here it is. Star Trek, the motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
And for all intents and purposes, this is my personal opinion. I watched it and I loved it.
Four Pigeon General here, personal opinion.
It was crap. It tried very hard to have echoes of 2001: A Space Odyssey, this larger exploration of humanity and the soul, and this relic of Earth's past getting taken over by an alien intelligence, and it sucked. Truthfully, it sucked. And a lot of fandom at the time was left with well, that's it? That's what we got? It's been fucking 10 years and we got that?
3 years of television shows is the Shatner legacy.
Well,
See, I thought that thing ran for 15 years.
No, man, it didn't get popular until it was in reruns. No, 3 years.
That's why I think it went on for so long. I was watching the batch from 66 to 69.
That's it. Not that many original episodes.
How many, George?
And the time...
Nope.
Are we counting the pilot with Jeffrey Hunter?
You know what? You're a Jeffrey Hunter.
Because originally it wasn't Captain Kirk. It was Captain Christopher Pike, played by Jeffrey Hunter, who later went on to play Jesus Christ and the King of Kings, man.
Get out
And he
of
did
here.
He did a grand time.
Yeah.
Grand
we'll
time.
have to be sure to bring that one up in the exit survey at Kamikaze.
No,
What's the one in LA
it's called LA Comic-Con.
LA Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So you see where I was accurate when I said Comic-Con.
October 26th to the 28th. On October
We're going to be there, ladies and
on
gentlemen.
October 27th, we're going to be
I got a better
at the
idea.
Los Angeles Comic Convention.
Well, I'm new to this, George.
Go ahead.
What happens if at the end of Artist's Row, we just stand as if we had a table? And maybe bring a table.
What we could do
How
is...
long will we
no. All right, there you just crossed the line. Standing
what about
there,
just a 2-foot little desk?
if we were walking around... we're walking around with a microphone. First of all, no one's going to say anything because there's going to be 500 other people doing the exact same thing.
Walking around with microphones?
Sure. There's people shooting YouTube shows there. There's people doing their own podcast there. We could absolutely do a From the Floor of Comic-Con cast.
What if we... So...
What, but no.
A
Once
little
you go
poster board sign taped to the front of a 3-foot wide table. We're dressed as it,
Here's
so
what's
it
gonna
looks
happen.
like a costume, but you can actually sit, and it's a table, and we have our own booth.
Stan Lee, Lou Ferrigno, and
I know Jim Starlin. I'm going to ask him.
And Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, are going to pull us in the back room and beat the crap out of
Bullshit.
us.
I'm friends with Jim Starlin, man.
Are
We're
you?
good. Yeah,
Okay, well,
yeah. I'm totally now. Yeah, we'll get him in on that.
Tell Jim Starlin that we'll be there, man.
Why don't we interview him?
Let's interview Jim Starlin.
Let's let my boy interview Jim Starlin.
That'd be fantastic.
Telling you, can you go to Comic-Con dressed as a table?
James, I know you're listening. So if you could give Kevin a call tomorrow on his personal number, not the cell phone that his wife has.
Yeah, not the office.
Just give him a ring tomorrow and we'll set this whole deal up. At some point, we should probably talk about Star Trek in this Star Trek podcast.
It's early.
You're right.
So we're going to do a segue at the end anyways.
You're right.
Now.
You're right.
You're going to segue into nothingness tonight.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great.
I am too, man.
I'm great, man.
I'm really good.
I wish you read Annihilation. You don't know how bad you're treating yourself.
No.
I've since read another book by that man.
I am my own worst enemy,
Yeah. What are you, Lao
You know
Tzu?
what? That was also
What's that?
also from Star Trek. Wrath of Khan.
Oh, is it?
No.
No. The quotable Khan.
The quotable Khan, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Do you notice, first of all, he attributes to the Klingons, he says, don't you know the old Klingon saying that revenge is a dish best served cold?
He does say that.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty earthly.
It is.
That-
It's very, well, it's
probably Shakespeare.
It's Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Now,
Klingspear.
in Star Trek 6, it's called The Undiscovered Country, which is a line from Hamlet, the undiscovered country meaning the future. there is a Klingon emperor who talks about how you have not experienced Shakespeare until you've read him in the original Klingon. And this line has created just vibrations of
You're lucky that's
anxiety.
not directly. Hey, you know what? That's Khan. No. You can't talk about that, man.
Moving on.
No. Moving on.
Moving on.
This is all original Bone China content.
What are we going to talk about then? If we can't talk about anything, what's to talk about?
Let's just try and talk about some of this stuff.
Okay. Here's the world, man. Star Trek the motion picture. It ends. Star Trek 2 starts off. We are in basically a completely brand new world.
With a retired Shatner. It seems as with Kirk, his will is broken.
Well, it seems to have forgotten that Star Trek 1 ever happened. Star Trek 1, different Enterprise. Different Enterprise sets, anyway. Different uniforms.
No.
Different roles. No. Man, we were close on that one, I think we were getting there.
Kirk, can we talk about Kirk? Was he I think this movie,
he's doing something he doesn't want to do.
Right? 36 years ago, I think I saw this movie. It was probably the last time I saw it, and I rewatched it, and it was nice to imagine it not as something coming from a world that was already known and accepted and loved by many, but just a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
So we have a captain who's aging, right?
Feels it.
A little bummed out. He's having a birthday. And he gets a book for A Tale of Two Cities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the best of times. It was the blurst of times, you stupid monkeys!
Stupid monkeys! Great.
That's a better line in the Tales of Two Dickens.
Also, so Bones gives him the birthday present. They've got a great little relationship going on there. Captain Kirk is losing his purpose. His purpose, his singular purpose, is to be at the command of a starship that is exploring the universe. That's the Captain Kirk we've known and loved. He is now an instructor at Starfleet Academy, overseeing recruits on his ship that is now on loan to the Academy, and they're doing war games tests.
Yeah.
Specific scenario called the Kobayashi Maru. The unwinnable scenario.
Yeah. But he wins it. It's all about lateral thinking, George.
It's all about three-dimensional thinking.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's what that is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but he doesn't win it.
He just breaks it.
Are we talking about Kirk or are we talking about Spock here?
Kirk's
whole deal was he had cheated.
Yeah.
He reprogrammed the computer.
Lateral thinking.
Yeah. The Kobayashi Maru is actually designed to not be won. It is a test of the character.
Is that a real test from the world?
No,
our world?
It's not a real test from our world. No, it goes in Star Trek lore. It is now terminology for an unwinnable situation. All of a sudden, you're in a Kobayashi Maru.
So we're in a Kobayashi Maru
right here. Nope.
Hey! Nope. Yeah, no, that's new content.
Kobayashi Maru.
The one thing the one thing the Trekkies have not done is establish that we should not be doing this.
Should not be doing what? Talking about
Star Trek.
Because this is simply because
it's a Kobayashi Maru.
It's an unwinnable. Well, you know what I want to do? I want to reprogram the computer. Give me an accommodation for original thinking, please.
Okay. What are we talking about?
How about the special effects? No.
Yeah, no.
How about the submarine movie aspect of
Das Boot.
Oh,
Das Boot.
Two captains on opposite ends of
who were never in the same room together.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Never in Khan and Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Both with a K. Wow.
Kirk is the mirroring.
They are never in the same room together. Now that is actually kind of brilliant. I mean, this is certainly something that has been talked about before.
Probably, yeah.
But that's a brilliant idea and kind of rare in this type of science fiction confrontation scenario, where throughout the entire movie there's no punch with the bad guy on a rocky world.
Yeah.
Like this entire thing happens at the helm of starships.
I would say if this was, I think you know how we can get around the Kobayashi Maru?
The Kobayashi Maru-iness?
Is just talk about it like it's not Star Trek.
Oh boy, Kevin. When you said that, when you said, without knowing the greater world that this came from, there was a little pinch of envy in the cockles of my heart there.
Yeah.
There was because I would love to be able to experience some of these things as divorced from the passion that I have for the overall, and just be able to see it as a sci-fi movie.
And I got to, because I don't think I've seen even half of the 66 through 69 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was Seinfeld, not Next Generation, or Simpsons, not Next Generation.
I was all three of those.
And, well, you consume differently than I do. But...
yeah, several
and
ways.
then I can't even name the others, so that put it that way. I don't even know. There was Deep Space Niner.
90.
Yeah, and then what else was there?
Voyager, and then later Enterprise.
Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah. See,
there was Star Trek Jesus.
Star Trek Jesus.
That's William
That's
Shatner,
pulling a Spock.
Yeah, Star Trek Jesus is kind of what we're end up dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because I love Star Trek so much that I react equally like joyous and also with cynicism at certain aspects of it. Like the new show that is out now, I see it and I just go, that ain't Star Trek, you know? So I bring this baggage with me already.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could just come to the table without like any of that and have a new experience with it, that would be maybe a good thing. I might enjoy it without just simply writing it off because it's not the Star Trek that I'm used to.
Well, whereas without even any context, I'm in the same boat, but from a different angle. I'm like, I don't really want to watch that.
You don't really want to watch it. Yeah. You don't care to.
But, so that's telling, though, because think about it. There are Star Trek fans who maybe don't want to have a bias, and then there are people who have a bias because it's Star Trek.
That's interesting. Once again, like the Romulans, Klingons, and the Cardassians, we're all not that different. Yeah.
Did you say that?
Trying to do sort of a
way?
Shatnery pause.
Well, so two captains. And so what came up for me was Das Boot. There's a submarine thing, and going into that nebula was cool.
Very cool.
I had not seen spaceships do that. That was cool.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
Tense.
And like a game of chess and pretty heady. It was hard to believe. Khan always had that guy on his crew whispering in his ear, we should just take the ship.
Yeah.
We should we're off the fucking planet, man. We've been on a planet. You know how many times I have read Moby Dick? God, we're making chess pieces out of wing nuts, man.
So,
ate one of those worms.
There is a moment, having already watched the original series, when I saw this movie, there is a moment on that dust planet, Ceti Alpha 5, where Chekhov grabs a belt and it says SS Botany Bay on it.
Yeah.
And that is a reference to the ship that Khan and his followers were found on in the original series. When I see that, I get so excited, and I think those things, those types of things that, because Star Trek is built on this wider mythology, those things are so cool to me that even when he takes his helmet off and Chekhov goes, and there's recognition, it's not a new bad guy. Oh my God, it's Khan. You know, I love that, man.
Well, so that worked on me without a background.
See, that's cool.
See, it was a great device.
Yeah.
When I saw him recognize the belt, you knew they were in a place they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because Chekhov knew the backstory.
Which is weird.
These folks weren't supposed to be on this planet. We're not even on the right planet.
Yeah.
Dude, and that was cool.
Yeah, they did. Which is
in a story.
Now let me inject a little Trekkiness into it.
No. Can't be done.
Chekhov was not in the original series episode that had Khan in it. Despite the fact he wasn't cast yet, that character had not been created. Yet in Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan, Khan looks at him and says, "You, I never forget a face." He didn't fucking meet him.
Yeah. I also forget that Shakespeare's a Klingon.
Yes, he's not the Klingon.
He's not the Klingon.
Can we pause for a second and just say how great was Ricardo Montalban in that part, man?
Totally cool.
Totally cool. Chewing scenery, over the top, cool, bad guy. You know, like
except I think in 1982 maybe it was easier to believe, but I think that guy would have not.
He was too smart to go after.
Yeah. He was too smart.
He'd have other plans.
I think if you remember Shakespeare and the things and Moby Dick and the things that pin this movie down, then you're like, well, of course this guy's got to have hubris, right? The larger mechanics of storytelling drag him, and honestly, those would be the detractors of seeing this in a void. I do believe there are more nuanced ways to tell stories now.
Yeah, I'd agree with that
40 years
completely.
later. And so for me, it's like, oh, great. And this is what you get with the older stuff. You're like, don't do it. Don't do it. It'll turn you to stone. Stone. He's stone. It's like you fucking...
Yeah.
You know, and hubris is more of like, maybe you don't permanently turn into stone, and maybe you don't crash and get blown up in a nebula. Maybe worse, you stay alive. You know, a modern or a 21st century hubris.
And more of
maybe you actually live with it
and
don't go down in flames.
Live with the torment and the suffering rather than the bad guy death. Khan needed to be killed by the thing that, he chased after. He needed to, suffer the wrath of his consequences,
of his consequences.
Of his consequences.
That's new content.
New.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm here for.
We do this. If we just keep plugging along with the old stuff, every once in a while, a new little kernel pops up.
Yeah. Colonel Khan.
Just like Khan's son there, too.
So it must be said it was great to see the weird sand creature. Does that creature have a name? I forget what he named.
No, it's like something worms or blood worms or something like that. But
that was totally cool to see those.
Those were great.
Because it's totally, remember, everyone can think of that worm when you talk about Khan.
That, Paul Winfield also is Captain Terrell, like that, he was great. Mm-hmm. The whole mind control sequence. I mean, just the different spots that this journey ends up in, from following Kirk at the Academy to Chekhov on his ship looking for a planet devoid of life, to the space station where the scientists are, now to a spaceship chase. Like, it just takes us kind of across this galaxy in a way that's not what I think a lot of people attach Star Trek to. I felt like I had heard once a criticism of Star Trek, which was, it's like diplomacy in space.
I remember you said that before.
And this, I think, shows that you can do all that. You can have those larger character stories while it's still being pretty fucking cool, And when Star Trek manages to do that, put all those pieces together, it transcends its own thing.
Do the Trekkies benefit from having the feature-length format? Are the feature lengths just better because there's more room to spread out, or are there single episodes that people rank? Do they rank them the same?
You could certainly say that the original series cast flourished in the movies, whereas the opposite has been true for the other movies they've tried to make. Like, the Next Generation cast, by and large, their movies were crap. They had 1 out of 4 good
Those
movies.
are the latest ones we've had?
No, the latest ones they had are complete
reboots.
Like, they have decided to create a new universe and go that route with it. And it's the original series characters, but a completely different cast.
Mm-hmm.
And they've tried to go that route with it. And they've been serviceable, but never... I would not call them smart. Like, I would not say they're good science fiction. They're action adventure movies, and I hate making that like weird quibbly.
There
but
are such a thing.
But there are. I mean, these are more like shoot 'em up and that's it. Like, how can we showcase Alice Eve in her bra and panties? And
how can we?
Well, cast her as Dr. Carol Marcus and send Kirk after her.
There you go.
Next thing you know, two
we
kids
got
later.
We got another baby.
Another baby
dodging stable fatherhood, man.
So that was we get introduced to Kirk's son, David.
Yeah.
In this movie, I at no point thought that was a reveal at the end. Like, that was just him acknowledging he knew.
Earlier in the movie, I think I knew that would be.
Yeah. I think the question was whether or not David knew that Kirk was his father.
I think David always knew.
You think David always knew?
I think that mom had told him about Kirk. He talks about Kirk.
He talks about Kirk.
I think he knew.
But all right. So he talks about him in a I know that guy I used to hang out with. Like, I didn't think David knew that he was Kirk's son.
Maybe not. I don't.
But it doesn't really matter.
One cool thing, I think the Genesis, when Kirk second gets fooled by Connie, ends up in the middle of that planet that they've been working on, and they show what Genesis will do. And I had completely forgotten about that, and you get this whole cool just like scene that they spend on terraforming.
Yeah.
And that was very cool.
And you mean inside the asteroid where they go and it's like a tropical jungle.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's supposed to happen wherever we shoot the Genesis missile into.
Right. The Genesis missile contains a matrix that Dr. Marcus has formulated, which vaguely, they explain, creates the building blocks of life.
But it's an explosion, so it like burns away, so they need it without life to see what it's gonna do.
Well, I mean, that is more... Yeah, that's more of a Star Trek, we don't interfere with the natural development of planets thing. Like, it's not like... because they say if we launch this at a planet, like if you shot this at Earth, you'd kill everyone on Earth.
Yeah.
And new life would flourish eventually, but it would just pave over the entire planet.
So it got shot into Khan's spaceship and created a planet, and I call bullshit on that.
Well.
What do you people have to say about that, Captain Pigeon?
I immediately get into
Captain Gear.
That's Lance Corporal Pigeon, please. I would say they didn't know. They didn't know what would happen if you just exploded it.
And so it did something
in the middle in the vacuous space. So it did something. It didn't need a planet to formulate because it created the core of a planet and then the mantle and then the crust and everything like that. So by the time we were at the end of the movie, there is a fully
forest.
There was a forested planet. It has apparently gone through billions of years of evolution in the matter of hours.
Big black sunglass case on it.
Big sunglass case sitting there with old Spock.
With old Spock.
Now that scene, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you have not seen Wrath of Khan, stop the podcast right now. Take 2 hours, watch Wrath of Khan, and then restart it at 38 minutes and 10 seconds. We'll wait.
We've already ruined it for you. Yeah. We should sign. We could do it this part in sign language.
Well, no, because I don't want to. I don't want to ruin it for any of the.
You know what was strange?
Deaf people either.
There was some blowback from when we were signing.
We got some letters.
Some of the letters and emails, and
most of them were in sign language.
Ears.
Yeah. Oh God.
But they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, that's only because the intern that reads our letters is deaf. So.
Yeah.
No big deal. I mean, I guess, we're guilty for hiring people who wouldn't otherwise find gainful.
I mean, we don't, when you leave voicemails, he can't hear them.
Yeah. She. Her name is Sarah.
Hey, let's not bring
gender
into this.
She just has very, very short hair.
Let's not bring gender
So, there's so much about that scene in which Spock dies that...
What?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
No one can... You can't even talk about
Can't even talk about Spock dying. When he stands up and he straightens his uniform so he can turn around and face his cat. It's beautiful, man. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then he runs right into the glass.
boom,
Boom.
like a discombobulated dolphin.
Well, he's pretty
Fresh.
irradiated.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's tough.
You'd think there'd be a better way to go about that.
I remember even watching it this time and going, Spock shouldn't die from radiation.
Well, he's not a Superman.
I know it does. It makes no sense.
That Spock shouldn't die.
Like he should just be able to walk in and fix it and walk out.
Guys, everybody, false alarm.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm good.
Well, Star Trek 3 is called The Search for Spock.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Nimoy would not make Star Trek 2 unless they agreed to kill him. Like, he was like, yeah, I'll make it. I'll make Star Trek 2, but I'm done. You gotta... He had just written a book called I Am Not Spock.
Yes.
You know? And so then, I don't know what happened, because he comes back for Star Trek 3.
That's called I Am Not Spock, but I am needing a little more cash.
Yeah, well, years later, he wrote a book called I Am Spock.
Yeah.
So that's... Leonard Nimoy apparently has some decisiveness issues. But...
let's not decide that yet.
That's true. The quotes in this movie.
We already talked about
We
the
already
quotes.
did the quotable.
No,
Con?
yeah.
No. Man.
Yeah. Moby Dick. Who's Chekhov?
Well, Chekhov is...
Yeah, no, I thought that was a quote from Chekhov.
Oh, no. No, the Chekhov isn't quoted in this. He's a character in the
Nikolai
movie.
Chekhov.
He's not quoted in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Simply Herman Melville and Shakespeare and the Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah, we get some Bible.
Yeah. I always do. I like
myself.
Kirk and Bones. They're fun.
Their relationship is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
cool.
always has been. Well, the triangle of Kirk, Bones, and Spock is classic. I mean, that's one of the reasons I loved original Star Trek, was the three of them are so different, and they all get along, and you have moments in some of these movies and TV shows where you can tell that they're like best friends. I mean, it's fucking great. That's one of the things that always kept me coming back to Star Trek, was the relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's good science fiction, Kevin. Star Trek is good science fiction, and this is a Star Trek movie, probably the best Star Trek movie. So therefore, it's a great science fiction movie, And divorced from being Star Trek, it's just alone a really good science fiction movie. Deals with a lot of the classic stories that we love in sci-fi, man. This undying quest, toss in a weird device that creates planets. Carol Marcus, hey, you're my dad.
Stranded space travelers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fucking great. It was great. It is a joy to revisit this movie every now and then.
Yeah, it'll be cool to show it to the boy. And the boys.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I wonder.
But it's kind of grotesque. We were watching it. And before you see Khan's handiwork for the first time, we were thinking, this would be cool to show to B-Dub. And then there's literally people strung up, bleeding out. And I was like, oh, another one we're going to have to wait, man.
That struck me as a little, I was like, wow, he really went overboard here on this one. That
was in a non-Star Trek, no contact way. That was in line.
Because he was
what I mean by that is strung up, yes. Getting something to stringing people up and gutting them to get the machine that'll finally lure Kirk in. It's almost like, what would have made more sense is for Khan to defeat him.
To defeat Kirk?
Yeah, like obviously not. It's gonna happen, but. Instead of him suffering from hubris, there's like a defeat and maybe a reveal. Because how come Khan feels so ripped off? Wasn't it truly? Isn't it a mistake? Like, in the context of that, another man would have been able to forgive the mistake. Wasn't it a mistake?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Khan, and this is where we get this is where I personally get into a little bit of the backstory with Khan. So Khan is a byproduct of 20th century genetic engineering, which heightened his
another
strength,
cool
his
aspect,
intellect,
sci-fi aspect.
Very cool sci-fi aspect that they come from. It's not so like,
and so that whole crew is that too.
That whole crew is that too.
They're biomen.
Yes. So, but also what I love about it is that it's not like just, oh, this is the far, far future. This is also dependent on a parallel past. So in 1999, Khan was like running the world, running planet Earth, essentially. He had, there were governments and sending their armies after him and everything, and him and his crew had pretty much taken over the planet. They called it the Eugenics Wars. And it was it's a cool part of Star Trek past.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool that I'm not going to say no.
Right.
Okay.
So Khan, along with his intellect, his strength, and everything, heightened everything else. His motivation, his drive, his defects of character, also his hubris, his pride, all that stuff got heightened. So he's pretty unstable. All he sees is, Kirk, you stranded me on this planet. Yeah, you didn't know that the planet was going to be laid waste, a year later, but my wife died as a result of that. So you're done. I am doing whatever I've got to do to get you. Now, what I kind of come in is like, did Khan really want Genesis, or did he just use this entire thing to get Kirk out in the open?
Oh, yeah, I think he would have shot Genesis at Earth.
You think he would? He
would have done anything.
Going,
like if someone related to Kirk was on that planet,
yeah,
he might have shot it at Earth, just to punish him.
Right.
That's where I thought he was on that.
He was content to leave Kirk. He had Genesis. Khan had Genesis. He was content to leave Kirk in the middle of that asteroid. He says to him, "I am going to leave you as you left me in the middle of a dead world buried alive." And Khan had Genesis, and he's out. He's going to do whatever he's going to go do. Like he had other plans. So that's an interesting little thing as well. Like this was clearly not just, I need to just get Kirk out in the open.
Because he thought he settled it.
Thought he was settled.
That was cool. I liked it was like it wasn't obvious, like the way Kirk got out of the situation. That was cool.
Yeah,
I like how there was code and all sorts of stuff.
I love that back and forth between him and Khan. And that's another moment, like when Khan comes on the view screen, Kirk, he never thought he was going to see this guy again in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And here he is, like on the view screen of the what was the other ship's name? The Reliant.
Yeah.
And it's Khan, man, and that's it. It's all in that delivery too that Kirk gives. Just Khan.
What does Kirk say at the end? I feel young.
I feel young
because he's been rejuvenated by almost dying.
Yeah.
People dying.
Yeah, his best friend has just died,
and he feels young.
That's
confusing.
Look at what he had been through. He reconciled with a son he probably never expected to see again. He saw a demon come out of his past and destroy himself due to his own quest. And now here he is on the bridge of a starship, completely the opposite of where he was at the beginning of the movie. He's on the bridge of a starship flying into the great unknown again. And this is the longer journey of Captain Kirk, because in Star Trek II, he starts as a retired admiral and
four pigeon
admiral, and he defies Starfleet orders in Star Trek III and is now wanted by Starfleet. And then in Star Trek IV, as his comeuppance, he stands before the Starfleet Council, and their punishment is a demotion to captain and command of a starship. Like they're what they say to him is, you have basically been cheating your destiny. You saved us, but you did defy our orders. Mm-hmm. So we are punishing you. You're demoted to captain, and here's a starship. and the journey for Kirk is then kind of complete, and then we get Star Trek V. Wow, that was terrible.
Yeah.
They go into the center of the galaxy and they find God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Beatles twist.
It's just that they show up. The Beatles show up in it. Yeah. It's like, hey there.
There ain't no yellow submarine.
We got God in here. Nope. Nope. People have made that joke before.
God is love. They have?
Sure.
No. That's new content, man.
We're rolling there. We're getting there.
How have we done, listener? New content.
Yeah, please.
Are you still listening?
You tell us, man. You can email us at busydadsdosci@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at busydadsdosci. You can follow us on Twitter at busydadsdosci. No, wait, we don't have Twitter anymore.
Fuck Twitter.
Twitter,
Yeah.
No.
Trump ruined Twitter, dude.
Oh, dude, let's not get political.
Whoa.
Come on,
God.
man. You know what? The thing with Twitter...
You know what? I'm not political. Just Twitter sucks.
It does.
Trump makes it suckier, and I don't even care. I don't care about that Trump shit.
You gotta like update it so much, man, to gain any like actual traction in Twitter. It's just kind of.
I have no idea.
I know you don't, and I envy that.
Yeah.
Just
like you being a Star Trek.
Just like you're.
Yeah. See, I just walk up and I go, "What the hell's Twitter? What's Star Trek?"
Wow. You're so free, man.
I'd like a gelato and an
I would like a cheeseburger and a bottle of anything.
What the fuck is Star Trek?
What's Star Trek?
It's
Captain
a glazed
Who?
donut.
It's a glazed donut and a bottle of anything.
To
go.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But you don't know, just like the Richard Gere joke.
Yeah.
You guys are not going to get that one either.
Yeah.
So, look, listener, if you haven't, check out Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan.
Hey, did Mark Maron ever get back to you?
Marcus?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
He did? Cool.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do the talking about the?
Oh, dude's a total.
He's gonna get us lined up.
I can't be seen with him.
I thought he's on our in for getting on the Terry Gross show.
No, he's a.
What's that? Late Night with Terry Gross?
No, I think it's up all night.
Up all night with Terry Gross.
Yeah. It's after midnight, so they can show some nudity.
Yeah. Radio nudity. That's just the sound of a breast rubbing on a mic.
Mark Maron told me he's going to meet us at on the floor of Comic-Con at our table. He's going to be the other end of the table.
No one's going to know. We're going to dress as tables.
All right.
And then it's like a suspenders thing.
This might not be a bad idea. Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen someone like get ejected for doing things that they shouldn't have done?
Oh yeah, I've seen people get thrown out.
I'm not talking about like groping Gamora or anything. I'm talking about like, sir, you're not allowed to sell art here or anything like that. Like,
I haven't seen that. No, but I'd imagine.
You know what the only problem is? We already told our wives we were going to bring our kids to this.
We did. Well, we'll have a little.
You know what? We'll put them in a D&D panel and just go and do it.
We'll get a biker wallet chain.
Yeah.
And toss it around. Yeah. There.
Go to the D&D panel. Look,
kids,
you're a rogue. Go have fun.
Here's $4. Go
$44.
Here's $4. Yeah, $44 to get into the. All right. And go check out the cosplay. Don't grope Gamora.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Yeah. That's pretty good. We could park them in the cosplay competition. That'll buy us 2 hours.
2 hours to sit. And you know what? We could talk about Star Trek 4 while we're there.
Exit survey. But we're not exiting. Shut up and answer the question.
Shut up and answer the question.
Shut up and answer some questions.
You dumb tribble.
Yeah. How many of you assholes have read Revelation Space by Alistair Reynolds? What percentage are you? That's what we need to ask the kids, right? What percentage are you in this book you're listening to?
Yeah, because they're not reading
the
book. They're listening to it.
Yeah. Reading
is apparently fundamental.
What is that supposed to mean? No, you can't say that. No, that's not original content, man. No.
All right, so we what do we got? We talked about everything here.
We did well.
I think we did really well with this, man. All right.
If anyone wants to send in a points ratio versus original or not, we dare you. And if you know Terry Gross, let her know we're coming for her in a good way. In the nicest possible way. In the nicest, totally possible way. Yeah.
And William Shatner, if you're listening,
We'll see you.
I know you're listening. We'll see you at Comic-Con.
We're ready. We're saving up money right now to get in the line to get you to sign a picture for us, and then we're gonna pop an interview on you, like we discussed.
Yeah, just like we talked about.
Yeah.
I talked to Karen. It's fine. Yeah, Karen.
What the hell?
He's old enough. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Karen Lingus. Karen Lingus. Oh man.
Oh, we had to leave. We're leaving on a Lingus.
We're leaving on a lingo.
Why don't you do your segue?
The segue.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced the wrath of Khan?
That
was great. That was the best.
You can't do that.